Well, my friends, welcome to another WSIB Truth Matters with Joe Machado, where I tell the truth from bullshit, facts from fiction in plain English. And as you can tell, oh yeah, I'm already hot on this subject. We're going to talk about it today. I'm going to give you some of the insight of what's going on. And I know that you're going to find out some stuff that you're probably not aware of. All right? So you know what? Without any further delay, let's get at it. And we're back. So these idiots, when you don't think that somebody could stoop lower than they already are, or that there's no more room for them to stoop lower than they already are, you find out that there's a basement. And that basement is even lower than what they were. And they can stoop a lot lower. These people are just fucking sick. So, the WSIB frontliners have decided that once again, they're going to threaten the WSIB with strike. And when I say once again, is because in very recent memory, probably a year, maybe two, they did the same thing. And the WSIB was able to avert strike. Presumably they came to an agreement. Otherwise, they wouldn't have. They wouldn't have accepted it. But they did. Whatever that agreement was, because they don't make that shit public. Because the leadership, the ones I call the fat cats, and these other idiots, the ones that are striking or threatening to strike, they have no shame. They don't promote and let the public know, listen, this is what we were able to negotiate for our agreement. No, they're not going to do that. But they're going to try and gain public sympathy for their cause in how they're posturing their threat to strike. Again, after they presumably accepted a deal. They will do that to try and gain public sympathy, to say, hey, we're not the bad guys here, right? We're the good guys. We're trying to help, right? This is how they posture themselves, right? So I'm going to read from a couple of statements that they made on the QP and OCEW or U website. Okay, so I'm going to put it up here. They say, members see the people in their case file. So they're talking about these frontliners. Senior management at WSIB just sees numbers. Workers are stretched thin, overworked, and told to do more with less, while management gives themselves compensation improvements. See, they are bashing management. Not that I have an issue with that, because I think fucking management are the problem. I believe that 100%. And I can tell you how to fix it very easily, very, very easily, and create a sustainable, strong system, vertically integrated, with everybody working for a particular cause, a very simple cause, one or two. They're supplying information and assistance to employers, which is one of their main parties that they're supposed to help. And then the other one is to provide help and support to injured workers. None of the other shit that these leaders do. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the point here. So they have a 96% vote to strike again, right? Because a year ago or 2 years ago, I don't remember specifically the date, because it was very, very recently, they signed a deal, but I guess they didn't get what they wanted. And they're going back for more. So they have a problem with employer or leadership giving themselves more. Well, why didn't you ask for more when you threatened to strike the last time around? Why didn't you? Anyway, well, I guess you thought that you'd have another kick at the cat. So here's another one, right? They say, oh my God, this one's out of the fucking ballpark here. Okay, I'm going to put it up here. they're saying that their workers are showing incredible resilience against the bullying tactics of WSIB management. Really? Bullying tactics? Well, you know what? From what I see, supporting members, thousands of members throughout this province, you're bullying injured workers. So you're getting a taste of your own medicine, right? Because you know what? Even if your leaders or your management aren't treating you the way that you think they should, it doesn't give you the right to forego all of the human, basic, decent principles of treating people with respect and dignity. But you don't do that. You do the same thing to injured workers that you claim your fucking leaders, your management are doing to you. You see how ridiculous that sounds? And you're looking to garner support from the community, from injured workers, the ones that you're screwing over right now? Yeah, you might want to rethink that one. My friends, and here's another one, okay? They're saying that they make sure more than 5.3 million workers across 325,000 workplaces can access their benefits, that their families get the support that they need when an injury occurs, that workplaces take steps to mitigate risk, and that hurt workers have a path to return to work when they're ready. Well, how about you don't focus on 5.3 million fucking workers, right? And how about you focus on the thousands, which are far less than the millions, and pay them what they need in terms of LOE and healthcare? How about you do that? Because you know what? You might actually get support from these people. And another one. Except they're saying that they have to do all of this. Except they're not given enough time or resources. They used to get 6 months training. Now it's cut in half. Caseloads and micromanagement are at an unsustainable levels, driving up anxiety and depression among WSIB workers well above the national average. You motherfuckers, you have the balls to even state that. When you're cutting up, when you're shrinking return to work programs, and you're condensing them into nobody could ever get retrained and it's not adequate time for anybody to go to for training in a college or an apprenticeship to get into a new career. In the times that you're giving, you are shrinking everything. You're putting pressure on everybody to save a buck. And now you're complaining that you get less than the 6 months training that you're supposed to get when you're screwing your own clients. When you're screwing them over, pushing them back to work against their doctor's advice. Putting a program in place for 3 months when a psychovocational assessment recommends 1 year or 2 years. And you have the balls to state that as a problem, that somebody is somehow supposed to be concerned about any of that and the caseloads. Look, try doing a good fucking job, because you have an option. Your option is you can do exactly what you're doing now. You can threaten the WSIB, and you know what's going to happen? They're going to come to the table, and they're going to put together another bullshit agreement to shut you up. You have the option to walk off and get support from your members in your union, right? You have that option. You know the only option that injured workers have is to walk away from their homes or being evicted from their homes or their apartments because they can't pay the fucking mortgage or they can't pay their rent because of you. So fuck off. Do your job. Do what you're supposed to do. Help injured workers. And keep your arguments between you and your employer between yourselves. Nobody gives a fuck.